The order paid $67.50 for 6.2 miles. Looking back on it, I did have a weird feeling about it, but that tip had to have been insane. I wish I hadn't ignored that initial gut feeling I had. I really do wish I declined this too good to be true order, as I'm pretty sure it almost cost me my life. It was a catering order from Panera, 2 big bags, 1 box of drinks, a customer note that didn't even load until after I picked everything up. In all caps, they said, "Hand it to me. Do not leave outside. Tip depends on handoff." I remember sitting in the parking lot looking at that note like, what are they talking about? It was more annoying than crazy, but I remembered that, of course, people got weird about catering orders, especially the big ones. Because I delivered to offices, churches, birthday parties, business lunches, open houses, honestly, even funeral receptions, literally anything you can think of. Half the time, somebody wanted the food either set up inside, and the other half, they then acted like you were stealing from them if one sandwich tray went missing. So when I saw the payout, I told myself the same thing every delivery driver tells themselves when something feels even a little off. Only 6 miles. Get it done, take the money, move on. The Panera employee looked relieved when I gave her the name. "You're the catering order?" she asked. I said, "Yeah." She pointed to 2 giant insulated bags on the counter and a cardboard drink carrier with enough iced teas and lemonades to ruin my entire front seat if I hit one pothole. "Good luck," she said with a smile. I laughed because I thought she meant the wait. Then she added, "They called 3 times already." That made me pause. For what? She shrugged, just asking if the driver had picked it up yet. I checked the app. The customer name was just D. Miller. The address was outside town, down a road I recognized only because I'd previously declined orders there before. Big houses, no streetlights, really long driveways with gates. Awful self-service. The kind of area where every mile feels like 3. But hey, $67.50 for 6.2 miles is $67.50 for 6.2 miles. I was going to take this order. I loaded everything into my car and started driving. After about 2 minutes from when I pulled out, the customer messaged me saying, "Please hurry, people are waiting." So I typed back quickly, "On my way, ETA 12 minutes. Then they responded immediately, "Come to front door, bring all bags inside." I didn't like how they were commanding me, but the money was good enough, so I just shrugged it off and kept going. Besides, I told myself again that these customers were kind of like that. Bossy, entitled, but usually harmless at the end of the day. The drive got darker the farther I went. The houses spread out, then the houses disappeared completely for a stretch, replaced by trees and long black gaps between mailboxes. My GPS told me to turn into Briar Hollow Road, and the pavement changed almost immediately. Narrower, rougher, no more painted lines. The app showed me that I was still 3 minutes away. Then another message came through. "Tip will be removed if left outside." I remember just laughing at that. Honestly, not because it was funny, but it was so direct it almost felt fake. So I said out loud to myself, "Okay, D. Miller, you got it, buddy." The house sat at the end of the road, large, old, and dark except for one light over the porch and another light deeper inside, somewhere past the front hallway. There was not a single car in the driveway. That was the second bad feeling. A catering order literally big enough for a room full of people and not a single car outside. I parked facing the road because I always do that at night. Makes me feel safer. I grabbed the first bag, then the second, then balanced the drink box somehow against my side with my elbow. The front door was already open, not cracked, wide open. Although the storm door was shut, the wooden door behind it was wide open. showing a narrow hallway and a staircase disappearing upward into straight darkness. I stood at the bottom of the porch steps and called out, "DoorDash." No answer. I checked the app again, didn't have signal, then a bar, then nothing. I was about to set everything down, take a picture anyway, and leave when a voice almost at the same time called from inside. "Kitchen." It was a man's voice, flat, not loud, just close enough to startle me and make me freeze. I said, "I can leave it right here?" No answer. I waited for what felt like forever. In reality, it was probably like 5 or 10 seconds. Then the voice said, "Kitchen." I looked back at my car. It was maybe 30 feet away, engine off, keys in my pocket, driver door unlocked. I told myself I was fine. If anything happened, I could get out. So I walked up the porch steps, opened the storm door at my shoulder, and placed the drink box just inside that threshold. Then I stopped. See, there's a line when you do delivery. Most people don't think about it because they're not the ones crossing it every night. They're just getting the food. The porch, that's fine. The garage, questionable, but fine. But you see, inside the actual house is way different. Inside the house means the customer controls the room, the exits, the distance, the lighting, and the narrative if something goes wrong. I said, "I'm not allowed to come inside." Now, that wasn't exactly true, but the way I made it sound official. But then the voice said from the hallway, "Then you don't want the tip?" My stomach tightened. I didn't even answer. The man said, "It's a catering handoff. I report it incomplete. You lose the tip and rating." You see, before this moment, I just thought I was dealing with a rude customer. But after this moment, everything changed. I knew that he knew about drivers. He knew what mattered: the tip, the rating, the fear of getting reported. He poked and prodded at these little pressure points that kept me polite and kept me around, kept me pushing the threshold, even when every inch of my body was telling me to leave. But I wanted that money. He was right. I wanted the tip. I wanted the good rating. And I definitely didn't want to get reported. So I picked up the drink box again. Again, couldn't really say why in the moment, but looking back on it, I know why. I didn't want to go all the way in, but I took another step over my threshold, then another. The hallway smelled like old carpet and something sweet, like fruit that had been left too long in a trash can. The kitchen light was on at the far end, and I could see the edge of a table. This was what was weird. There was no one there. There was no party. There was no office meeting. I didn't hear anything. It was just a light. Scared as hell, I called out, Where do you want it?" The voice answered from somewhere to my left, and my head snapped when I heard, "Dining room." See, I stopped. Now it's the dining room. Before it was the kitchen. The dining room door was even darker than the staircase. I couldn't see inside it. I said, "You can come get it from here." Silence. Then a soft sound like someone shifting their weight that made a floorboard creak. That made me back up one step. Then for some reason the customer messaged me through the app. That should not have happened, not only because I had no signal, but because they were presumably in the house with me. "You're almost done," it said. I looked at the screen. Then I looked at the dark dining room. The voice said, "Don't you want that tip?" I dropped the drink box. It hit the floor sideways, cups cracking open, tea and lemonade spreading across the old wood. The voice changed immediately. Not louder, but angrier. "Pick it up." I dropped the first catering bag too, then the second, and I was gone. I ran. Something moved in the dining room. The floorboard squeaked even quicker, quicker, quicker. He was moving fast. I hit the storm door with both hands, slammed through it, and nearly fell down the porch steps. Behind me, I heard a chair scrape across the floor. Then footsteps. Again, not walking, sprinting. I got to my car with one hand already digging for the keys that were stuck in my pocket. The catering bag strap had caught around my wrist, and for one stupid second, I couldn't get free of it. I yanked so hard I almost dislocated my shoulder. The bag tore open behind me, sandwich tray sliding across the porch. I heard the storm door slam. I looked back. A hooded figure stood in the doorway. A man in a dark hoodie with his face covered by something pale and light. He didn't chase me into the yard. He just watched me fight with my keys. That was worse, because it meant he still thought I might make a mistake. He was waiting for something. I got the door open and threw myself inside my car. As I started it, he appeared next to me at my window. He tapped on the glass with one finger. Once, twice, then 3 times. Then he leaned down until his face completely filled the window, almost pressing it against the window. His voice muffled through the glass. "You forgot the handoff. No handoff, no tip." I reversed so fast I almost hit the ditch. The tires spun in the gravel before catching. As I backed into the road, I saw movement behind him. Another person stepped out of the house, smaller, also hooded. They bent down, picked up one of the catering bags, and dragged it back inside. Then they came back for the second one, and I swear to God, they still took the food and started eating. That almost made it worse, because the order had 2 purposes: potentially my life or whoever was going to bring the food, and dinner. I mean, psychos still gotta eat, right? I drove until there were streetlights again and pulled into a gas station and called 911. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely get the words out. The dispatcher asked if I had an address. I opened the app and the order was gone. Not completed, not canceled, just gone. Like I'd never accepted it. My earnings screen had updated too, but the 6750 was not there. Now there was delivery. The only thing left was a note on my account that said, "Customer reported, order not handed directly to recipient." I laughed when I saw it. A horrible little laugh. The kind that comes out when your body is still deciding whether to cry. The police went to the address. The house was empty by the time they got there. No cars, no people, no bags, no drink spills, no food across the floor, and the front door was locked. The owner, according to the county records, lived 2 states away and said the property had been vacant for months. I stopped doing deliveries, especially night deliveries after that, for a while. But the thing that stays with me is not the house, not the open door, not the darkness, not even the man tapping on my window. It's how close I got. Not because I was brave, well, because I was a little stupid, but mainly because the number on the screen was just high enough for me to make a wrong decision feel reasonable. That's what scares me now. See, someone understood the app. Someone understood the drivers, our motivations, how we think. Someone understood that if the tip was big enough, the warning signs would start to look just like obstacles instead of actual warnings. And sometimes all it takes to get someone through the door is 6 miles and $67.50.